So there has been an epidemic here in Houston, Texas, specifically with first-time homebuyers. Buying your first home is exciting, but in Houston, you need to know how to navigate the nuances of this complex industry so that you can get the best bang for your buck. Today, we're breaking down the top 6 biggest mistakes first-time homebuyers make. Houston edition.
The Houston area's best neighborhoods specifically for first-time homebuyers.
We're talking inspections, contingencies, flood zones, new builds, and most importantly, why having the right realtor by your side can make all the difference between a smooth closing and an expensive nightmare. And if you're planning to buy a home in the greater Houston area, whether that's Tomball, Cypress, Katy, Sugarland, Conroe, you're gonna wanna stay for number 5 and number 6, because those are the ones that we see ruin deals every single month. Let's get into it. This one stops more people more than anything. I need 20% down to buy a home. Not in Houston. Besides being a licensed Texas real estate agent serving the greater Houston area, I am also a licensed mortgage loan officer in the state of Texas. So I just want to clarify a few things. You are not required to put 20% down to buy a home. You are also not required to put 10% down to buy a home. You are not even required to put 5% down on a home. So what's the catch? Well, there is no catch, so let's take a closer look at this. So for FHA loans, the minimum down payment is 3.5%. The minimum credit score required is typically 580 or higher. FHA loans are also a little bit more flexible on past credit issues, student loans, and DTI, also known as your debt to income ratio. Conventional loans can be as low as 3% to 5% down. So yes, 3% down is real, but only with select programs, and usually it is for qualifying first-time homebuyers. And of course, that 5% down is for everybody else. I do want to make known that if you put less than 20% down, there will be private mortgage insurance. That is also known as PMI. Though when you reach 20% equity, that private mortgage insurance, PMI, will fall off. So to give an example, if you put down 10%, once you pay that 10%, go into 20% so that you can have 20% equity, that private mortgage insurance will fall right off. So if your credit is solid, conventional will save you long term. Now, don't get me wrong, if your credit score is bad and you have like 8 lines of credit and a lot of delinquencies and debt, that is the time where you will be required to put a certain amount down. Of course, every borrower and lender is different, but your financial standing will play a big role here. Now, here's some good news. Texas has a variety of down payment assistance programs, also known as DPAs. This includes, but is not limited to, TSHAC, also known as the Texas State Affordable Housing Corporation. You also have the TDHCA, which is the Texas Department of Housing and Community Affairs. You have the Texas Bootstrap Program, as well as local grants from the city of Houston and Harris County. There is a lot of opportunity out there. And of course, these down payment programs can help with down payment, closing costs, or sometimes both. But we're not done here yet. When buying a home, especially in new construction or homes that have sat in the market for a while, or homes that need some tender love and care, there are some more opportunities. It is not unusual to see sellers maybe cover part of your closing costs, maybe even a rate buy down, maybe even the full cost of an appraisal and title fees. This alone can save buyers thousands at closing. What actually matters is having a lender that understands the nuances of the complex Houston market and having someone that can structure your offer competitively when offering on a home. And yes, that is something that your realtor helps you navigate. We see this all the time. People fall in love with a home without getting pre-approved. And in Houston, where the homes move fast, that's the kiss of death. Okay, so let's break this down. First of all, a pre-approval gives you real budget clarity. It tells you what price range that you can shop in. It tells you what your estimated monthly payment could look like, your PITI, that's principal, interest, taxes, insurance. It can tell you how much cash you need to bring to the closing table, and it can also tell you what loan programs you can qualify for. There's no surprises, no gimmicks, just straight facts. And also a clear roadmap. Second of all, sellers will take you seriously. In Houston's competitive listing environment, listing agents want buyers who are qualified, verified, and ready to perform. A pre-approval letter basically tells the seller that, hey, this buyer can actually close. And without a pre-approval, your offer is basically going to be ignored. Third reason why you must get a pre-approval: you avoid touring homes that are outside of your budget. Nothing is worse when you fall in love with a home that is $475,000, and in the end you realize that you can only afford $300,000. That is a sticky situation. A pre-approval helps keep you focused on homes that you can actually win, and also puts you in front of homes that can make sense for you financially. Fourth reason, pre-approvals strengthen your negotiating position. If two buyers were to offer on a home, but only one of them was pre-approved, the seller would lean towards the buyer that has done their homework. Pre-approved buyers can get better terms, faster acceptance, and also the possibility of having more leverage in their counteroffer. Sometimes being pre-approved is the difference between winning and losing the home. So one last thing I want to touch base on. Choosing the right lender matters. Usually, if you have a strong buyer's agent by your side, that could be us, it doesn't have to be us, but it could be us, they will connect you with a trusted lender that can actually close on time, not those online banks that just ghost you right before underwriting. Local lenders understand Houston appraisal timelines, HOA nuances, insurance requirements, as well as local underwriting expectations. This means fewer delays, fewer surprises, and a smooth closing for you. And you also can't forget a higher chance that your offer will get accepted. So the third mistake that first-time homebuyers make is not factoring in property taxes and HOA fees. If you're moving from out of state, Texas property taxes will shock you. Since Texas does not have a state income tax, our property taxes is what compensates for that, which will make it much more higher. Because of that, especially in Houston, the rate can change your monthly payment by hundreds of dollars. So taxes in Houston are not the same everywhere. Every neighborhood has their own set of county taxes, school district taxes, and this is a big one, MUD districts. If you don't know what MUD districts are, they are municipal utility districts. MUDs help pay for water, drainage, as well as neighborhood infrastructure. And the newer communities tend to have higher MUD taxes because they're still paying those off. Another big factor is HOA fees. Some neighborhoods have no HOA, but say in a master plan community, they have higher HOA dues because they have a lot of amenities in their neighborhoods, such as pools, golf courses, basketball courts, pickleball courts, walking trails, nature preserves, anything you can think of, maybe the gym as well. Just keep it in mind that when there are more amenities in a master plan community you're shopping at, most likely there will be higher HOA fees, so you must keep that in mind. In Houston, tax rates typically range from about the low end of 2% to the high end of 3%. Master plan communities and newer communities tend to have higher rates due to those MUD and PID assessments. That's municipal utility district expenses and public improvement district expenses. So keep in mind that all of this affects your true monthly payment. A home that looks affordable at first glance can end up being more expensive due to high property taxes than, say, a large property located in a low tax area. This is where having a Houston realtor, such as our team, can help you find and negotiate for a home that offers the best balance between taxes, HOA dues, amenities, and future resale value. Okay, so this is a big one. Houston is hot, Houston is humid, and it's built on shifting soils, so getting an inspection is not optional, it's necessary. Even on a new construction home, it is wise to get an inspector that works for you and not the builder. So just to give a few examples, foundation movement is very common here in Houston because of our soil. Having an inspector by your side can help spot these signs early on so that you can avoid a 5-figure bill. Another example is HVAC systems. Especially in the summer here in Houston, in hot and humid Texas, our HVAC systems work overtime. So having an inspector by your side that can find out the age and conditions of these systems can help save you from getting hit with $7,000, $12,000 bills. Another thing, Texas has very bipolar weather. During the hurricane season, we get a lot of storms. In the winter, it's possible for us to get snow and sometimes even hail. Because of that, it can wear down our roofs faster than in other cities. Having a qualified inspector by your side can help find out the conditions and age of these important components of your house so that you can avoid very, very costly labor, and bills. They can also check for hidden damages that insurances may not cover later. And in new construction builds, inspectors can catch things such as missing insulation, improperly installed drainage systems, as well as shortcuts behind walls that you would never notice. And remember, your inspector doesn't negotiate repairs. Your realtor does. Personally, our team has helped buyers negotiate for thousands and save thousands by using the inspection report to negotiate for repairs, acquire seller credits, and maybe even acquire a price reduction. It's not about being difficult, it's about getting the best bang for your buck and also protecting you as a buyer, and also so that you can live in a safe home. That is why having the right realtor by your side matters. Mistake number 5, not understanding contingencies. So contingencies keep your money safe. In Texas, the big contingencies that you should keep in mind is the option period, the financing contingency, as well as the appraisal contingency, though that last one, the appraisal contingency, depends on how your offer is written. Most first-time homebuyers don't know what these contingencies actually do, and that's where you can get burned. Okay, so let's go over some of these contingencies real quick. The first one is the option period, and the option period is your safety net. The option period is unique to Texas, and it's also one of the most important protections that you have. It is unique in a way in that during the option period, you can walk away from a purchase contract to buy a home for any reason. You could just wake up one day and decide that I don't want this home anymore, and you can terminate it. The option period gives you time to do inspections, schedule repairs, review maybe the HOA rules, and find out more about the community. And if something doesn't sit right, well then you can cancel and you keep your earnest money. That's why skipping or shortening your option period is a little bit risky if you don't know what you're doing. The second one is the financing contingency, and the financing contingency helps you if your loan falls apart. If your loan is denied for reasons covered in the contract, the financing contingency helps to protect your earnest money. It's there to prevent a worst case scenario. The third contingency I'll go over is the appraisal contingency. So the appraisal contingency will help keep you from overpaying for a home. Not every Texas contract automatically includes appraisal protection, and many buyers don't realize this. If the home appraises low, an appraisal contingency can help you avoid overpaying, covering a big price gap out of pocket, getting stuck renegotiating from a weak position. And in a competitive area, we tailor this contingency strategically so you're still protected, but your offer remains appealing. Without contingencies, your earnest money is at risk. This is the part most first-time buyers never hear. If you waive contingencies without understanding the impact, you're essentially saying, I'm willing to lose my earnest money if anything goes wrong. Contingencies aren't just rules, they're guardrails. They're what protect your deposit, your budget, and your peace of mind. Contingency strategy is just as important as price. Contingencies don't make your offer weaker, they make your offer smarter. A well-written contract strikes a balance between protecting you and staying competitive in the seller's eyes. A good realtor, such as our team, will write your contract in a way that protects you while still being competitive. This is strategy, not paperwork. The way these clauses are written can save you thousands and keep your earnest money safe. The sixth biggest mistake that first-time homebuyers make is trying to negotiate without a realtor. Some buyers think skipping a realtor saves money, but in Houston, the seller almost always pays the buyer's agent's commission. You're getting professional negotiation for free, and most people don't realize how costly it is to do this alone. First of all, agents protect your earnest money. The biggest financial risk in a real estate contract is accidentally losing your earnest money. A strong agent ensures every deadline is met, every contingency is active, and every document is correct. One missed detail can cost thousands, and DIY buyers don't even know what they're supposed to be tracking. At least for first-time homebuyers, most of the time, they do not know what they're supposed to be tracking. Second of all, repairs and concessions are negotiated, not given. Most buyers don't know what's reasonable to ask for, what's a safety hazard, or what's normal for Houston homes. Your agent uses the inspection report as leverage to negotiate. Negotiate for repairs, seller credits, price reductions, and we've had clients where we've saved thousands on this alone. Writing a strategic contract matters. A contract is not paperwork your realtor tailors. It's a legal document worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Fourth reason, agents prevent legal pitfalls. Texas contracts are detailed, deadline-driven, and legally binding. DIY buyers don't often realize they're agreeing to terms that waive rights, increase their liability, or put them in breach. A realtor helps you navigate safely while making sure both sides follow TREC rules. The fifth reason is that realtors have access to trusted lenders, inspectors, and specialists. Agents know which lenders actually close on time, which inspectors are thorough, and which specialists to call for, such as foundation evaluations, roof inspections, HVAC issues, plumbing concerns. This saves time, money, and stress and keeps surprises off the closing table. The sixth reason is that realtors immediately spot red flags. Not everybody, but some realtors do. And some realtors, they can spot neighborhood quirks that matter in Houston, such as flood history, drainage issues, mud taxes, maybe even unusual HOA rules, as well as builder reputations. There's also more stuff that realtors can spot, such as overpriced listings, as well as upcoming zoning or roadway developments. Your realtor saves you from buying into a problem you didn't know existed. 7, I also want to talk about another thing. Comps aren't just numbers anyone can look at Zillow, but understanding Houston comps requires knowing which neighborhoods truly compare, which homes were remodeled correctly, which ones backed up to a busy street, and why two similar houses can differ by $40,000. This protects you from overpaying or strengthens your offer when you need to win. Our team has seen so many buyers lose tens of thousands trying to do it yourself in a home purchase. You're not just buying a house, you're entering a legal contract worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Having a realtor is not an extra cost, it's a layer of protection. Having somebody by your side is like having an attorney by your side, but it's a realtor. We're by your side. Buying your first home in Houston doesn't have to feel overwhelming. If you avoid these mistakes, you'll already be ahead of most first-time homebuyers, and you'll make smarter, more confident decisions. And if you want a team in your corner from day one, people who explain everything in plain English, protect your money, and fight for you during negotiations, that's exactly what we do. If you're even thinking about buying in Houston, whether it's next month or next year, use the contact link in the description or in our pinned comment to book a free consult with us. We'll walk you through the process, answer any questions, and help you build a plan so you're ready when the right home hits the market. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next one.